Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our day 2 session where till the last time we did we did the app, and this is what it was looking like. As you can see, the Delhi was visible. I mean, the weather of Delhi and Mumbai as well. So we'll add a few more things to it and make it look appealing to everyone's eyes. Okay, we'll add a small little icon over here as well. So we'll again go and first check icon double equals to not double equals to null. Then we'll add image class equals icon. I've just specified a class icon for the sake of styling, and I'll give a small source as to where this image would be taken, and this image is taken from the Open Weather API as well. So openweathermap.org slash image w slash, and there is my icon. I specify this is under the documentation, so I'm not going under the documentation and explaining. This would be under the documentation itself. .png. So let's see that in action. How does it look like? And before that, first I'll specify a bracket. Then I'll again close my bracket. Okay, good enough. So hit let me again compile it once again for you. And there you go. So we'll again go there, and again I'll specify it as Delhi. So now you can see there's a small little image which makes it look appealing. So now we'll go and move to the styling. So before we move on to styling, we'll just specify a few classes for the sake of styling, and it would look good to us. So first, this is the container class. So change that to uh, I'll change it to I'll specify another division class here. Division class as weather title, because that is what we want. Okay, and this division is ending after, let's say, after this paragraph. Yeah, that looks good. Then we have this class, and I name the class as weather class. It look good, and this would contain my temperature itself, and I'll create another class for it to be, division description, or we can say so, and this is named as description. And where shall we close this? We shall close it right after here. So I've closed it, and this won't do much effect to our existing code because you have just added a few divisions, and this would be affected once we add the CSS and make the style look good and beautiful. Till now, it is good. We have all the relevant data, but we would want to make it more beautiful. And I think Abhipsha would like to come into the picture and explain how can we make it better. Abhipsha, over to you.
Thank you, Sautik. Okay, so let me just share my screen. So yeah, now let's just continue with it. Here you saw that Sautik added the classes. There's one more thing that I want to do. So over here, what I have done is I have taken the font awesome script tag. Okay, I'm using font awesome over here for an icon. So this script you will get if you have the font awesome kit, and you can put it under this title. And then I have created one header class in my container where I have put an icon. Let me just show that icon to you. Over here, if you go, this is the cloud icon that I have used, and the size that I've used is 5x. Okay, so you can just add it over here. So now if I just run that nodemon, just a second, yeah, nodemon app.js, and if I go back to localhost 3000, then you can see that an additional icon has been added over here and it looks pretty good right now. So now let's just move to the styling part. Yesterday I had mentioned that in app.js we had mentioned this express static to be public, and I had said that static is used to basically render the CSS or the static files, and the directory will be public. So today let's just create that directory. I'll just terminate this and I'll create the directory public in our folder. Yeah, so that has been created, and in the public directory I'll create another folder which will be style sheets, where we'll keep the CSS files. I'll create another file over there that will be styles.css. Okay, so now that this file is ready, let's start with the styling part. For all the elements, let's just start with that. For all the elements, we'll apply margin to be 0 and auto. 0 for top and bottom and auto for left and right. Padding will give 0. And box sizing will give border box. So what this will do is, if we are giving any additional border, that will be included in the width and height of the element itself. Now for the body, let's just style that. Font family will be using, let's use this one, Arial. And the background, let's give a linear gradient. So it will be linear gradient. To right, let's give the color 085078 and 85D8 again CE. Okay, after setting this gradient, let's just go to our app and see how it looks. Okay, there's some problem. Okay, yeah, we need to run nodemon again. And if you again reload, then you can see this gradient. But we'll center all the contents over here, we'll center it. So let's just do that one by one. For the container class, let's style that. We'll give it a margin of 4 rem and auto. 4 rem for top and bottom and auto for left and right. So, and for the header, the icon that we just added, let's give a height of 5 rem. Position will set to relative. And margin bottom, let's give margin bottom to be 3 rem. Okay, now if we go and refresh or reload. Okay, so over here you can see that border bottom is 3 rem. For the icon, for the cloud icon, let's style that. We'll give a padding of 10 pixels. Position will set to be absolute. Left will apply 50% so that we can center that. And transform will give translate to be minus 50%, which will move leftwards of its width by 50%. And top we will give 20 pixels. And margin bottom we'll set 10 gram. Okay, now if we again go back and reload, you can see that the icon has been centered and it looks good over here. Now let's just continue with the styling. For the weather title class that we just added, we will style that now. We'll give a margin of 2 rem and 0, and we will center the text. So text align will be center. So if you go back and check. So yeah, as you can see, the H1 and the paragraph has also been centered. Now moving on, for the weather title H1, we'll give a font weight of bold because we want just set to bold, and the font size will give it to be 1.8 rem. Okay, and if we again reload over here, so yeah, this is how it looks now. Now coming to the form, I think the form looks really ugly as of now, so let's just style that. So we'll give a padding of 0 and 5 rem. And for the form input, actually instead of doing this 0 and 5 rem, we can do it be 0.5 rem. For the form input, let's give a margin left of 20% and the height to be 2.5 rem. And we will set the width to be 60%, so that we just increase the width. Now if you go back and reload, yeah, you can see that the width has been increased. But if you click over here, you can see that there is a border and an outline in the form, and I don't want that. So let's just get rid of it. Let's set the font size to be also 1 rem. And the outline, as I said, I don't want it, so let's just give it none. And border also, let's just set that to be none. And after doing that, let's just again center the text. So text align will be center. And I will give a border bottom of 2 pixels, solid. We'll give a color that will be a grayish color, 817676. Now if you go back and reload, so yeah, now if I click over here, you can see that we don't have the border and the outline, we just have a border bottom, and it looks pretty good. Okay, now continuing for the weather class, let's just align the text. And for the weather description, and weather and also the description class, we will set the text transform. We'll just capitalize it. For the weather and the temp class, we'll give a margin top of 2 rem. We'll set the font size to be 2 rem. And position, will set it to be relative. If you go back and reload, we need to first enter city over here. Let's enter Bhubaneswar. Yeah, so you can see that it has been centered. The weather details are also centered. But let's just style it a little bit more. For the description image, that is the icon that will be displaying, let's just align the items to be center, and we'll also set the justify content to be center. Okay, and again, if we reload, yeah. So this is how our weather app looks right now. You can, if you enter any other city event like Paris, say for example, yeah. So it's displaying the data very nicely, and and I think it looks a lot cleaner and neater. So yeah, this is how our weather app looks. And if you have missed any of the code, then don't worry. We'll be pushing this to GitHub where you can use it for your reference, and we'll just add the link of the GitHub once this session gets over in the description box. Okay. So finally, our weather app is done. Now, Siddharth will explain the RESTful routing part. So over to you, Siddharth. RESTful API.
Hello everyone, I will be talking about RESTful APIs. So let me share my screen. Okay. So welcome to web development and the part 2, the RESTful APIs. So basically, let's talk about what is a REST API. So it's basically we have two type of APIs, you can say. One is stateless and stateful server. Sorry, two types of server. One is stateless and stateful servers. So stateful server is what previously Abhipsha showed you. Like there will be a screen, uh, there will be HTML pages, and there will be the node application, and both will be collaborating with itself. But in the stateless server, your backend need not worry about the front end, and front end need not worry about the backend. They will be connecting through through requests. So that's basically let's code. Oh. So in this session, we will be using a package called Node URL Shortener to shorten the URLs. So let's set up a route. You can see, let's create a folder. And we will be defining the packages for JS. Importing this app here. Create a router. Basically, now we will have to provide the uh, package here. So package here, and then we'll be done doing it. So okay, let me describe you how this works. So let me show you a demo first. You see here, I will start the server, and as you can see, this is a postman screen, and I will be putting up a post request at this route, and let's see what happens. See, it connected with it, and we got a shortened URL. Now how this works, as you can see, this is the body of the code, means the body of the request. So now we will be using this body parser package using npm, which will decode the byte stream into JSON data, and we'll be forwarding that to here. And as you can see, there is this API part, and it will be displayed here, right here, API, and we can use that. Yeah, that will direct it to here, and you can see I have this API router already defined, where there is a uh, endpoint, short endpoint, and which is controlled by the short controller. And we can see that this short controller is this one, and here there is this post request on this, which receives the post request when it comes from the client side. And using this URL shortener app, URL shortener package, will be requesting, you will be putting a request there, which with the main URL, this body, or body contains the main URL as a key. So will be then this is a callback function which responds with the short URL, and this is the value which contains its value. And by using this, we will be sending a response to the client side. So this is how it happens. And again, we can try using an other links, like suppose we have another link. That's how it works. And that's all. We'll be sharing our code in the comment section. That's it.